Today we're going to be taking a look at the top 25 most popular men's fragrances released since 2020, and I'm going to rank them from best to worst, at least in my opinion. And I've got to tell you, this is close to impossible to do. Originally, I was going to do this as a tier list, you know, like S, A, B, C, all that stuff, but I realized that like 90% of the fragrances would be ranked either S or A, and that's not too interesting. And I'm also going to tell you guys how AI ranked these top 25 also. And I gotta say, I don't agree with it, but I'm gonna share it with you anyway. All the fragrances featured in today's video are gonna be linked in the description, so feel free to check them out down there. Let's get started with number 25. And I should say the way that I determined the top 25 most popular fragrances released from 2020 to today is through Fragrantica. So I just went on to fragrantica.com, searched by men's fragrances by most popular, and took the top 25 from there. And it goes without saying that as time goes on and fragrances are released and things gain or lose popularity, they may change a little bit, but this is, as of today's video, accurate. So number 25 for me is gonna be Lattafa's Fakhar Black. Why number 25? Well, because at the end of the day, this is just a clone of YSL Eau de Parfum. So it's not really doing anything too unique. It's basically just a cheaper alternative to that fragrance. But I will say, if we were doing like best bang for your buck or something like that, this would shoot way up the list. It is not that this is a bad fragrance at all. It's actually a great alternative to YEDP, but with some of the fragrances this is going up against, something had to be in 25th place, and that's this. Keeping with that same idea, number 24 is 9 PM by Afnan. This one is a clone of Ultramall from Jean Paul Gaultier. And once again, same thing I said about this over here, it applies with 9 PM. If we're talking bang for your buck, it's a great bang for your buck. Really versatile, a compliment puller, good performance. Am I basically putting the clone fragrances down at the bottom of the list? Yeah. So number 24, 9 PM, on to 23. Gotta be this one, Lattafa's Assad. And broken record, but hear me out. If you like Sauvage Elixir, and you don't want to spend that much money, this is an awesome fragrance. Big bang for your buck, once again, good performance, great quality, and this one has gotten cheaper over time, so even more affordable now. On to our last clone fragrance, Tarothi Blue from Afnan. This one, I feel like just in terms of overall quality, maybe just hits a little bit better for me. Again, these are really solid, fantastic fragrances that I've talked about a lot, but if I have to put one clone fragrance, I guess, at the top of this list, I'm gonna put that one there. All right, number 21, and this is gonna be the first designer fragrance in today's list. I gotta find it down here, and I feel awful about this, like to the point that I have zero confidence that I actually want this fragrance in this part of the list, but you know, that's where it's gonna go. Eros Eau de Parfum. Yeah, so realistically, I would put this in the A tier, you know, S, A, B, C, blah, blah, blah. I'd put it in the A tier, but this is where it winds up, way down here. And truth be told, I love Eros Eau de Parfum, and depending on like where I'm going, what I'm doing, time of season, I very well might want to wear Eros Eau de Parfum over the number one fragrance in today's list and be happy doing it. You know, not one of those things where I'm like, oh, Eros. No, this stuff is great, really versatile, big compliment puller once again. I like that it's ever so slightly more mature than the Eau de Toilette. Smells higher quality overall, less like sickeningly sweet compared to the EDT. It's just, yeah, there are some huge releases in the top 25 since 2020. So Eros Eau de Parfum down here. I even got this out because I wanted to spray it and smell it, and it didn't even spray it. All right, number 20, Armani Code Parfum. Again, very solid fragrance, really nice smelling, has a good freshness off the top, and as it dries down, classy, sexy, smooth. Good for spring, fall, winter time, really good scent. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Number 19. Scandal from Jean Paul Gaultier, the original Scandal. Interestingly enough, the Le Parfum and Scandal Absolute, at least as of this video, not in the top 25, but this one is. And I'm a big fan of Scandal. I've talked this fragrance up in the past. I've said, you know, it can compete with like the Stronger With You line, with the Most Wanted line as far as compliments, and it can. But my favorite of the Scandal line as of today is Scandal Absolute. If that one were in the top 25, it would be much closer to the top. This one I really really enjoy, but I like the flankers a bit more. Number 18 is YSL's Myself. Now, this is basically just my own personal taste here, right? If we're talking compliments, if we're talking versatility, if we're talking about, frankly, one of my absolute go-to fragrances for just dumb reaches, you know, if you're grabbing something without thinking about it, spraying it on and going, Myself is toward the top, toward the absolute tippy top. Like, that's one of my most complimented scents out there. I actually wear it a decent amount because of that. And I do think it smells really nice. It's grown on me a lot over time, but you know, if it's just a straight one-to-one, as far as like, what do I want to smell? What do I want to wear if I'm, you know, really thinking about it, then a lot of the other fragrances we're gonna go over are gonna rank a little higher, which is why this is down here. Number 17 is ALTHAIR from Parfums de Marly, which is actually the only niche fragrance in the top 25. This is another one I don't feel good about. Like, I kind of wanted to move this one up, wanted to have it higher on the list there, and I do really, really enjoy it, but, you know, this hurts my soul. At this point, like from here up, everything is just so close together that you could make an argument of moving this like 5 places up in the list. And I wouldn't argue with you. I'd be like, yeah, it fits there, it's a good spot. Smells amazing, great performance, really sexy, very sweet, almost edible. Yeah, just, I don't feel good about it right there. I gotta say, I really don't. I'm like second guessing that one. But for now, that's where it's gonna stick. And next up is Boss Bottled Elixir. I actually like Boss Bottled Absolute maybe a little bit more than Elixir, but Elixir is still one that I'm a huge fan of, especially when you can find this for a good price at discounters. I think it's a great bang for your buck. Really masculine, woodsy, spicy, perfect for fall and winter time, good daytime fragrance or evening fragrance. You could also wear this formally and it would smell amazing. Hugo Boss has been putting out some high quality stuff lately. This one of their better releases. Just absolutely dig this. Takes me to number 15, and I'm gonna go with Coral Fantasy, Valentino Uomo Born in Roma Coral Fantasy. And this is a fragrance that has grown on me a bunch over time. It's knocked out like 50 tester strips. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Cool, cool, cool. It's one that I enjoyed when it first came out, but I wasn't in love with. And as time went on, and I gave it some more wear, you know, wore it out and about doing different things, I really grew to love it. It does have a good amount of sweetness to it. Nice apple scent profile in there off the top. Has some tobacco as it dries down, which is also really well done. And this one was one of the ones, along with Uomo Intense, Born in Roma, Uomo Intense, that really had me refocus attention on the Valentino Uomo Born in Roma line. That's a lot of word in that name. Because the original Born in Roma, that's kind of Invictus-y. Better than Invictus, the original, but still kind of Invictus-y. And I'm not the biggest fanboy of that line. So I was like, whatever. Then Yellow Dream came out. It was better, but also had similarities to Stronger With You, so it was like, which that one has grown on me too over time. But then Coral Fantasy was like, ooh, we're getting better here. It's like each time, better, better, better. And then Uomo Intense really set that off. But this one still, like I said, has grown on me a lot. Really versatile, just a great scent. All right, another one that's kind of hurt. Acqua di Gio Parfum. Number 14. I know some people are gonna see that and be like, oh, sacrilege, how could you? Because this is kind of like the, re-release of Profumo, Acqua di Gio Profumo. Not exactly the same as Profumo, but you know, very similar idea in terms of how it smells, how it comes across. Like I said, this one was very, 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 very difficult for me, and I think I could realistically move that one up, 7, 8 spots and be okay with it. Basically, these ones, as I said right here, they're getting closer and closer together as far as how much I like them. The difference now is almost non-existent. Microscopic, like you need an electron microscope to see the difference. And I would absolutely rock this during spring, summer, fall over some of the ones coming up 10 times out of 10. But I'm gonna put it there and feel bad about it. Number 13 is Louis Vuitton's Imagination. So this is a great smelling fragrance, really high quality, but also expensive. It's more of a spring, summertime fragrance, really more summertime, very citrusy. The quality is good. Some people get terrible performance, they say. Others say amazing performance. I get pretty good. Not anything amazing, but not anything I'm gonna complain about considering the type of fragrance it is. Longevity is actually pretty nice. It's more so just like the projection after it starts to settle down. And this is one I really, really enjoy, but I couldn't put it any higher because of the cost versus what I get, especially compared to some of the other things. And I know when I was talking about the clones, I was like, bang for buck, it would be higher, blah, blah, blah. But for this one. That's why I'm gonna put it right here. Number 12 is the most wanted Parfum. Really wonderful fragrance in a very popular style, that kind of warm, rich, and sweet scent profile that's very popular right now. Got a good little pop of red ginger off the top, a little touch of smokiness, not overwhelming. The sweetness is well done also. It's there, it's noticeable, but it's not overdone to the point of it coming across like bubblegum or something like that. Great for fall and winter, really sexy, good evening scent in general. Number 11 is Paradise Garden from Jean Paul Gaultier in the Le Beau line. That is a new release for this year, and I kind of thought it would be higher, but then when I started ranking things out, there are just so many really good fragrances that it fell right here. So, it is wonderful though. Spring, summer, very good. It's green, but also very sweet. And a lot of times with green fragrances, people don't like them or they don't gravitate towards them all that much. If it's overly aromatic, that can be a turn off actually. But where this one is balanced out with a tropical sweetness from coconut and fig, it makes it much more appealing, much easier to wear. And who knows, you know, maybe next year I wear this more and it moves up in like a proverbial rematch, but right now it's gonna go right there. And we are in the top 10. Number 10 is this one, Le Male Le Parfum, also from Jean Paul Gaultier. And again, this is like all S tier stuff. So don't think of this as like, oh, only number 10, oh, it sucks compared to the others. No, it's like right there. So that's an update on the Le Male DNA, given a nice overhaul, made more modern, has a good sweet aspect to it, a little bit of iris as well. Just a wonderful scent for fall, winter time, very classy, sexy, and elegant. Number 9 is Born in Roma Intense from Valentino. Like I was talking about before when I was talking about Coral Fantasy, Born in Roma Intense is my favorite in the lineup, at least as of right now. If I could pick only one, it would be that one. It has a great balance of fresh and sweet. You've got lavender in there, vanilla, a good amount of vanilla, and vetiver that gives a nice fresh, modern woodsy base. Absolutely amazing in the air. That's one of the best attention grabbers with extreme versatility out of everything here in today's list. I think it is absolutely stunning. The issue is when you have something this good, it's really hard to follow up with something afterwards that's gonna get as much attention as this one. Number 8 is the Most Wanted, and I actually thought about putting the Most Wanted up next to Most Wanted Parfum. So basically, like if this was 8, that was 9. If this was 10, that was 11. If that was 13, that was 14, right? But I ultimately decided to split them up, and the reason that they do have a little gap between them is I've actually worn that one more and had a little more success with that one. But this winter, I'm actually planning on wearing this one more, you know, give that one a little more of a chance to shine, I guess, to like put a little gap between the two. Because for a while there, they do have good similarities, and I'd be like, well, I'll just grab this one, right? And that's what I was doing. But that one smells amazing as well, like I said just 2 seconds ago. So the Most Wanted Parfum, if you like fragrances like Stronger With You, you will very likely enjoy that one also. It's another one that's warm, sweet, sexy, easy to wear, big compliment puller, good performance, smells great. We are at number 7, and that's gonna be Reserve Privé for me in the Gentleman line. Gotta get a little more iris in here. There's actually not a lot. You know, there's iris in Code Parfum and Le Male Le Parfum, but not any that are really iris forward other than that one. It's maybe not quite as popular in terms of sales compared to a lot of the other ones here, but within the fragrance world, it is extremely popular, and for good reason. It smells killer, just absolutely to die for. Has a nice boozy sweetness. It has that kind of creamy, slightly lipsticky iris in there, but it's offset by that booziness. There's also a bit of nuttiness in here as well. For fall, that is one of the best things you can wear. Number 6 is Stronger With You, Absolutely, which is my favorite in the Stronger With You line. Although I gotta say, you can't go wrong with really any of those. The Stronger With You fragrances by and large are just absolute home runs. They give you performance. They don't cost that much money at retail, at least the ones you can find at retail. People love them. You can just wear them whenever you want. When it's chilly outside, they cut through the cold, they get you noticed, they boost your confidence, all of that. So once again, Stronger With You, gonna have that kind of glazed chestnut vibe to it, but this one has a little booziness. Kind of paired it up with Reserve Privé that has a similar thing going on in a different line. Absolutely killer, a fantastic release. We are to the top 5. Number 5 is Invictus Victory Elixir. I know a lot of people out there would be like, Elixir? What? Victory Elixir, excuse me. If I say Elixir, you don't know what I'm talking about. There's like 75 elixirs at this point. Victory Elixir though. A lot of people would say, move that down. But for me, Victory Elixir is something I just keep coming back to, especially as it gets cold outside. This like sparkling vanilla that it has right off the top, just, you just want to wear it over and over. It's that type of fragrance you want to spray it on again and again and just, you know, get that opening going. But then as it dries down, it smells equally good. It has a little bit of a Le Beau flavor to it also, so I'm gonna put that at 5. Speaking of Le Beau, number 4, Le Beau Le Parfum. In 2023, that was my most complimented fragrance. I wore it a lot. And I did decide to reach for some other stuff this year, just because it was one of those ones where it's like, okay, like I've worn this out, gotta keep it moving, you know? But Le Beau Le Parfum is top notch. That has good performance. It smells quite unique against what most other people are wearing. It has that deep, rich, creamy, tropical sweetness with a little freshness off the top. Just really, really perfectly done. Number 3, Acqua di Gio Profondo. That's the Eau de Parfum. For me, Acqua di Gio Profondo Parfum, not that good. Also not in the top 25. This is the new iteration, but honestly, either iteration of Acqua di Gio Profondo works for me. It's a more modern, masculine take on the original Acqua di Gio DNA, giving a nice little minerality to it and a boost of sweetness in this new iteration. So number 3. Number 2, another freaking Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Elixir. Honestly, like Jean Paul Gaultier, just, there's 5 of them on here. So yeah, they got 20% of the top 25. It's overkill. But they did pretty well, so I guess not overkill. Le Male Elixir, my favorite in the Le Male line. It's very similar to Le Male Le Parfum in a lot of ways, but between the two, I do gravitate more towards this one. It's got a great honeyed sweetness to it. Has like a little tobacco aspect in the background. Just another one that stands out during fall and winter time. Absolutely amazing. And number 1, maybe not a surprise, Sauvage Elixir. I keep coming back to Sauvage Elixir. It reminds me a bit of fragrances from decades past, done in a more modern way. It's got great performance for me. It projects very well. It lasts forever. The quality, very, very high. And if you're gonna own just one Sauvage, for me, it's that one, even though it doesn't actually smell really similar to the other Sauvages at all. So that is my number 1 of all the fragrances that have come out since 2020, if we're talking about just the top 25 most popular. Now, here is how AI did it. And this is just a quick rundown from 25 to 1. So starting at number 25, Lattafa Fakara Black, then Assad, Tarathi Blue, 9 PM, Boss Bottled Elixir, Invictus Victory Elixir, myself, Coral Fantasy, Scandal, The Most Wanted, Le Beau Le Parfum, Imagination, Stronger With You Absolutely, Born in Roma Intense, Reserve Privé, Acqua di Gio Parfum, Le Male Le Parfum, The Most Wanted Parfum, Paradise Garden, Le Male Elixir, Code Parfum, Eros Eau de Parfum, Acqua di Gio Profondo, ALTHAIR, and Sauvage Elixir. So you can see a lot of changes there. Some of them were almost reversed, you know, where they moved Eros Eau de Parfum right up toward the very top. And again, actually staring at that at the bottom here makes me want to puke. But yeah, a lot of changes. That's how they sussed everything out and what AI thought was the best. Interestingly enough, we both have Sauvage Elixir as number 1 though, for whatever that's worth. So there we go, guys. That is the most popular, the top 25 since 2020 in my personal rankings and AIs. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Let me know how you would rank it. Honestly, it starts to get pretty difficult as you work through. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.